Charity says hi. Thanks for coming in, Charity. It's a Tuesday morning before the markets open. Of course, the market opens at 9:30. Hello. I don't know where you're from. Looks like, I'm not sure what that language is. But hello anyway. Hello, and a smile is universal. Pretty much. Charity says, cool driving skills always help. Yeah, well, I've been doing this 29 years, driving a truck, 29 years, and I've driven all kinds of trucks, box trucks, 53-foot drive vans, 53-foot reefer trucks, which is refrigerated, not reefer, flatbed. I'm driving pneumatic tanker right now because I work in the oil field, but can't read your comments anymore because I'm driving. So we're on the move, and it's a Tuesday morning before the markets open. I'm saying that like I'm a big time investor, right? I just got a little money in Robinhood. You know, I'm what you call a passive investor. You know, I got a little money in Robinhood, and I do it for fun. I do it for savings, and I do it for fun. In other words, obviously, I have a certain amount of money put to the side in the bank. I put a certain amount of money in my Stash account. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stash, the Stash app. Which, by the way, you can invest on Stash too. But I also have Robinhood, and that's where I do most of my investing on my phone on the Robinhood app. And you know, like I said, I'm not a big time investor. I'm just small time. But what I do is I figure, well, if you're going to save money, you might as well have a little fun with it instead of just, you know, sticking it in the bank and it's sitting there. Obviously, I don't put all my money in it, but you know, I stick a little money in there and have fun with it. I invest in things that I kind of know about, and sometimes I invest in things I don't know about and make it even more fun. But I invest in things that I know about, like, you know, construction equipment, like the CAT Corporation, CAT, Caterpillar. It's Caterpillar. Rentals is another one. And I'll give you one more that I invest in. What the heck else? Canadian Natural Resources. Canadian Natural Resources is a Canadian company, and they deal with oil and gas and pipelines and stuff like that. They're a pretty solid company. So, you know, that's what I don't really invest in Disney and Netflix, although I guess those are doing fantastic. I don't know. But I've never invested in Facebook. I just don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all have Facebook, but I never understood how Facebook makes money. I mean, I know they have a heck of a lot of advertisement on there now. Like, you know, 10 years ago, they didn't have as many advertisements, but I never understood when Facebook went public where that was going, you know, how that was going to do. But apparently it does fantastic. I've just never invested in that. Like I said, I'm a trucker. I'm an oil field guy, gas, natural gas, construction, and so on and so forth. I'm a blue collar guy, and so that's, I sort of lean that direction as far as my investing. And also, I kind of figure it kind of incentivizes you to save money, when you dump a little money into the market instead of, because who wants to just stick their money in the bank? That's boring, if you're going to be honest. By the way, this is in no way, I don't do any financial podcasts or anything like that, but every time I watch a podcast, they always say stuff like, this is not financial advice or something. So I guess I have to say that, talking about this is not financial advice. This is by no means financial advice. But, yeah. Yeah, I think that, it sort of incentivizes you and makes saving fun. Now, it's no fun if you put money in if you invest and you start losing money. That's no fun. But, if you're making money, you better save money. A lot of people are good at making money, but they suck at saving money. And guilty as charged. Guilty. I'm a lot better now. Of course, I've got to be better now, because, I've gotten older, so it's like the stakes are higher now. I can't be out here, screwing around, man. I got to make sure I save some money. But I think that, instead of, in other words, you should probably put a certain amount of money in your savings account. But like me, I like to have a little fun, so I'll put a little money into my Robinhood account, and I get a chance to kind of look at it every day and see how it's doing. And sometimes it's weird, man. Sometimes it loses. Like, say if you stick, like, say, I don't know, if you stick, this is a round number, if you stick $500 in there, you invest in whatever, and then the next day, that stock goes down, and then your 500 investment is like $473. You're like, what? But if it may be just having a downturn, call it. I'm not Charles Schwab. I'm not Michael Bloomberg. I'm not, who's the black guy on Fox? What the heck is that guy? He's been popping up on my timeline lately. Who's the black guy from Fox does the stocks? I forget. I know Michael Kramer, but if you invest a little money, it's still in there. If you invest $500 into the market and it goes down to like $485, that's still better than at least you've got it in there and it's saved. It's better than having it in your pocket and you just burn through it, buying crap on Amazon or going to Walmart or whatever the case is. You just burn through it, eating McDonald's, or, better than invest. But it's probably better to invest in McDonald's than eating it. Well, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, June 30th. Heck, it might be I was gonna say June 31st. It might be July 1st where you're at, right? Let's see if it's what is it? Somewhere about 9:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30. Which could be what? 9:30 in the morning in Japan or the Philippines or in China. God bless the people around the world, because we look at war, all the wars going on in the world right now, and we kind of look at it on our phone or on our television. We don't realize that real bombs are being dropped. Lives are being changed. People are in danger. People have families, hopes and dreams. The next thing you know, there's a freaking bomb, come knocking at your door. So say a prayer for the people that are in war-torn countries. Their day is not so beautiful. But it's odd. It's funny how people, even in war-torn countries, can find beauty. They can find beauty even in the midst of war. A kid can make a drawing, a painting. A mother can cook a beautiful meal, a wonderful meal, even in the midst of war. A father can be strong and resolute, even in the midst of war. So say a prayer for those that are sick today, those that are struggling maybe with depression. There's a lot of people struggling with depression. They're trying to get out of it. It's hard. Say a prayer for those people. Speak a good word to them, an encouraging word. There are those that, they struggle with depression. Heck, there are those that were doing just great, and then something happens in their life that drags them down to depression and dark depression. And their life is no longer fun. Their life is no longer happy. Their life is no longer exciting, because when you fall into a horrible depression, nothing is good. Food doesn't taste the same. The sun doesn't shine as bright. Your comedy show is not as funny. It's rough, man. I know, I've been there. So helping those out, especially good people that are trying. A lot of good people fall into depression because, well, they get used up or taken advantage of, or something happens to them. But you can come out of depression. I know. I was big and strong before. I'm strong now. Not as big, but I'm strong now. But there was a period in between that I struggled with depression and went down. But you can come out of it. It's like life, man. It's like a roller coaster sometimes. You can come out of it. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you can come out of it in 2 months. Sometimes it takes 2 years. Sometimes it might take 5 years. But stay true. Stay true. You'll come out of it. Don't harm yourself. Do no harm to yourself. I just saw something come across actually. It says, do I have any pets? Yes. Well, no, I did. I had three dogs, and they were like my kids. I had three dogs at the same time, three male dogs, three boys, and they rode with me in the truck, actually, a lot of times, for years. And they were fantastic, man. They were fantastic. And I took care of them like kids, you know. They were just fantastic. They each had their own personality, you know. Sorry if you leave a comment. It's hard for me to read anything right now because I got to keep my eyes on the road, especially driving a truck. But of course, you should keep your eyes on the road if you're driving a car too. Probably especially if you're driving a car. I don't know why this song is in my head. You know what song is in my head this morning? I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman. Why is that song in my head? Where did that come from? I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman. Great song, by the way. Great song. But I don't know why it's there this morning. someone be parked. This is not a good place to be parked. I don't know why. I don't care if it's a pull off or not. That's not the place to be parked. Well, whatever. I guess you do what you gotta do. Truck behind me. Alrighty. Time to get loaded. One thing I like about down here, I'm down here by the river, and it's a nice scene, you know. A lot of barges, you see a lot of barges on the river carrying material, stuff like that, but every once in a while you'll see a fishing boat out there. You see tugboats, and you see barges and stuff, but every once in a while, like I said, you see a fishing boat out there. That's nice to see. Someone out there relaxing, fishing. I saw a boat out there the other day. It reminded me of my uncle. My uncle loved to fish. My dad does too, but my uncle loved to fish. You know, he had this boat and reminded me of him, you know, while he was still living and going out and fishing. And boy, he loved it too. My goodness. What in the heaven's name is... Well, they didn't tell me I'm supposed to. So they... Oh, this road trying to make it a little better, huh? I don't think... About time. I guess they're making all this money. I guess they figure, well, we're making all this money now. Time to fix up this road. Yeah, I'm coming down. They say they grinding up this road here. This is awful down through here. So now I know they probably making all this money here lately. I guess they finally decided to go ahead and clean it up and make it a little better. Well, group, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to come down from this place. Got to end this live. I got to get to work. Open up my lids, do some paperwork, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you here. Hope you enjoyed. And do me a favor, like and subscribe. Take it easy. Peace.